Alright, what's up? It's Avvy here. Originally from Riverside, California. But I rep Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah, that's who I am. Blondie, Lank Ocean, Savitar, Sav, Savvy, whatever y'all want to say. Yeah. Honestly, it all came from, I was already making beats to sell like in 9th grade because I couldn't work an actual job, I was too young. But I wanted to have my own money, so I would make beats and sell them or whatever. And then me and my friends would like freestyle and stuff on the side to my beats. So it was like, okay, it's kind of like a no-brainer. It's like, oh, well, if you can do this and you can do this, let's do this. So, yeah, I started actually like rapping on my beats, kind of like as like a hobby really at first in 11th grade. And then after that, it was always just something that I was able to do, but I didn't really have the passion to be an artist or anything like that until I moved to Nashville. And once I moved to Nashville, that really, seeing other people be on stage and do something that I told myself that like, it was just a dream, I could never really do it. Seeing people like be on stage and actually do that is what put that fire in me to actually go for it, actually try it. And it's been a lot of fun ever since. I've made a lot of connections, met a lot of people, performed at a lot of shows. It's been really fun. So I'm glad that I came to Nashville and that fire was sparked. When I first started, I was trash, and I went back and listened to like my old song, because like at the time, even my music taste was like different. I only really cared about like getting bars off. I didn't want to listen to, I didn't like Cardi, I didn't like none of the mumble rap or whatever. I didn't like nothing that wasn't like, he's saying something, he getting these bars off, he talking shit, whatever. I didn't really like nothing else, like that's all I wanted. So I tried to like model my style after that, so it would be straight bars, but at the same time, it was like, what do I have to talk about? So it was like weak bars, like whatever. Like or it would be something that's like super duper, like you have to overthink in order to get it. Like it would be so dumb. But yeah, I was, if I, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say when I first started, I was like a 5, probably. Yeah, there was a guy in my city, because at the time I was in Huntsville, Alabama. There's a guy in my city named Eric Kane, and he was the one that was rapping the most. It was like really, I guess, putting on for the scene or whatever. But watching him and just knowing him, watching him being able to do X, Y, and Z, like being able to rap with this style and just this flow and everything like that, like that was one person. And then, like, I guess on a mainstream level, Mick Jenkins was a big influence on mine off rip. Just listen to the way that he can bend words and the way, and his flows and everything like that, and how he's versatile but still like true to his own style was crazy. As well as Earl Sweatshirt, Tyler, of course. Just listening to those rappers who kind of have those different pockets where they can take a word and bend it or whatever the case is. Just those artists that could really really hone in on their craft and like, you know, just bring something new to the table like every song. Those are the artists who I really listen to. I had this song in high school, so the quick story. So there was a poetry show or a poetry jam or whatever, and the prize was like $100. And people knew that like I could rap because we would freestyle and stuff like that, and I made music on the side, but I wasn't serious. I wasn't a rapper. I wasn't going around saying I'm a rapper. Nobody really knew who Savvy. Savvy was just a cool nickname, a cool Instagram name or whatever. But they said they pushed me into doing the show or whatever, and I was like, okay, $100 is a cool prize, whatever, I can use that. So then I went and did it. There was this poem that I wrote called Fall 14. And at the time it was about this girl that I was with in high school. Her name, well, if it's fall, you can kind of guess what her name was. But But yeah, nah, and I wrote the song actually on my break at Chick-fil-A. Like at the time I was working or whatever, I wrote it really quickly. And I performed it, people loved it and was like, yo, you should make a song for this. I went home and recorded it with the boo-boo ass program that I had at the time, Audacity. No FL, no mixing, none of that. Just straight raw vocals. So recorded it, put it on SoundCloud, and that was the one that people were like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I really like this. Like, you should do more of this. And at that point in time, I kind of just was like, I mean, I don't really want to, and I mean, this was just something I did for fun, but you know, thank you, whatever, cool. But yeah, that was the first time that I could say I had any kind of like fandom or recognition or anything on any level for anything I did creative. And then like on a bigger scale is when we put out 990. That was a crazy moment, because for me to like be able to, I was so nervous about that song because this is my first, I guess, kind of like sign being in a new city to say like, on here, this is who Savvy is, this is what I do, like whatever. So I was super anxious about it, I was super scared, because I was like, okay, what if this is trash? What if this isn't the Nashville sound? What if people don't like this? Like, then, oh damn, like I just came out here for no reason, you know what I'm saying? So for me to get the feedback that I got from it, between the Lyrical Lemonade placement to being on stage and hearing people repeat the lyrics back to me, to the streams, the others, like everything else, having random people walk up to me on campus and say, if your dad says you like my fit, like all that stuff was like, literally blew my mind. I'm like, what the hell? Like, you know this? And you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, I'm so used to just rapping with my friends. It's like as if one of my friends came and said, hey, you're the guy that spit that freestyle. I'd be like, what? How do you know that? You know what I'm saying? So those were the two first moments that were like really crazy for me, that like I really could say like, oh yeah, people know who Savvy is, people know music, you know. Huntsville is a place, is a city that if you want to like raise a family, or if you want to raise a family, or you want a really calm life or whatever, and with still, you know, stuff to do, things to do or whatever, like that's a good place for you to move. If you have a family, or if you want to start a family, if you're young and you're like in your late 20s and you already got your business, you know, if you're in, if you want to be a doctor, aerospace, businessman, whatever, that's like a good city, because Huntsville's growing right now, like industry-wise and just business-wise, economically, like the whole thing, like they're growing right now. But with Nashville, it's more of a, there's scenes in Nashville. There's art scene, fashion scene, music scene, whatever. You know, there's actual scenes in Nashville. So it's like, for me, looking at it, like it was like, okay, coming out of high school, what do I want to do? And where will I be able to actually realistically do it? You know what I'm saying? So like in Huntsville, there's no venues even for you to really go and perform at, or to even throw a show. You know what I'm saying? There's not. And then on top of that, there's not really a crowd for that. Whether that be because there's no venues or because the people just, whatever the case is, it's just not there. But in Nashville, on any given night, you can go and find a show. Well, you know, pre-corona, but you can go and find a show. If you want to throw a show, you can throw a show. You can throw, whatever the case is. Like, the city doesn't really like go to sleep until like maybe 3, 4 here in Nashville, I don't know. Like, honestly, but in Huntsville, like 11 o'clock, 11:30, 12 o'clock, the streets are empty. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's no downtown, there's nothing. Like, that is done. So it's like, to come to Nashville and just be a part of not even like a musically scene or whatever, but just a rising culture where people are coming here, people are sharing their talents together and just being in one big, like, you know, one kind of ecosystem of just creativity is crazy. And I really feel like, you know, in a couple years, maybe even less, Nashville is going to be one of those cities that are like, you know, oh, Atlanta has a scene, Chicago has a scene, LA has a scene, whatever, you know. So yeah, so you can definitely feel the difference between the two. Yeah, that was one of the things, that was one of the main things that inspired the final move, because I was already out here for school at MTSU, but to actually, the plan, funny, was funny. The plan was to come back from freshman year, work with my dad throughout the summer, and then come back to MT. Simple. But then, you know, while I was at MT, I would be going to Nashville on the weekends, going to different things, and hanging out with the people who would later become the little homies. David, Dylan, all my big homies, I would hang out with them, and then I would meet people, I would go to these shows, I would see, you know, these acts, I would hear these songs or whatever the case is, and it just blew my mind. And so, actually, it's funny, they had talked about getting the little homies together or whatever, and at the time I was like, okay, yeah, this sounds cool, sounds good, okay, cool. Yeah, like I always thought it was just an idea. But they were serious, they were really serious. And so, it kind of just, they asked me what I wanted to do, and I had a choice on between, you know, staying in Huntsville or taking that leap into a whole new city or whatever. And I took the leap, I took the jump. I figured, like, I will never have another opportunity like this, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be here for the rest of my life just being in this safe spot. I want to take that leap of faith. So, took that leap, and then when we start the Little Homies, that is really what kind of just like, if I would have got to Nashville and not done anything with myself or hadn't been doing anything, I would have been depressed. But for us to be able to come in with an idea, say we're gonna do this, this, and this, and actually do this, this, and this, it was beautiful. It was an amazing thing to see that after we throw a show, we were ready to throw the next one. And after we threw that one, we were ready to do the next, and it was just like never ending, never slowing down. So it was just a beautiful thing, and that's really what inspired the whole, seeing all these other people who just had these gifts but haven't taken that jump, having us all take that jump together is really what solidified it for me, that this is where I'm supposed to be. It literally feels like it feels natural. It feels not forced. It feels like what's the word I'm looking for? Not generic, genuine. Yeah, it feels genuine. It feels like it's supposed to. This is what's supposed to happen. This is what came together, and this works. We used to do this thing. It would be called like basement mode, I think is what we used to call it. But it's basically like we made all the songs, we did all the rehearsals and stuff, mainly in David's basement. And when we did it down there, we would move around, jump around, rap, whatever, as if nobody was there. So when we get on stage, maybe the crowd is weak, or we've messed up on something, or whatever, or we didn't plan, or whatever the case is, we would go into basement mode and just perform as if nobody else is there, and that would actually in turn get the crowd hyper. It would be a better show, it would be a better performance. But even aside from that, whether it be just getting some food, hanging out together, watching a movie, it all felt like family. It felt like we were actually homies, you know what I'm saying? So, and we actually were, you know, like a lot of us actually became, I brought like 2 people to the group, David brought a lot of people who knew it, like it became a whole thing where it's like, oh, like I want to be a little homie, you know what I'm saying? It was cool, it was amazing. It was kind of a mix of both. I'll say that Party in a Bottle was something that, it still blows my mind how quick we did that, because we made the album and the whole concept and everything within like a span of like 2 months. And like usually it takes way longer to make a quality album. But we had always, you know, once I put out 990 and was just letting that ride for however long, and then David had made songs, but he hadn't released any of them really. He had the I Just Took Your Girl on a Day. He had that one, and then Broadus was releasing music, Airplane Mode. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case is, like we all had our own things, and we were the Little Homies together, but we had no songs with each other. So it's like, okay, how are the Little Homies? We don't have any Little Homie songs. So then, when we decided to make this Party in the Bottle concept, it was so beautiful to see that same effort that we would go into like throwing a show or like doing this video or making this merch or whatever, come into an album. And the whole concept is still crazy to me. Like I still like the album a lot, and other people did too. It was more so like a little bit of both, of just like, okay, we need something from all of us. Like we need a car to sign from all of us, you know what I'm saying? While also like saying, okay, if we're gonna do this, this needs to be something that's cohesive, well thought out, and something that's like undeniably like a party album. And it was like, okay, well, what album do we want to make? Like, what do we want our sound to be like? Because it's so hard coming from 3 different sounds. I make music different than Broadus makes music different than David makes different music than I do. So it was so hard, like, it wasn't hard actually. That was the surprising part. It wasn't hard to work with them at all. But to be able to make this one sound that's like, okay, this is what the Lil Homies sound now. Like, this is what they sound like, you know? And so it was like, what better way to, you know, make music than the music that we usually perform is at parties. Let's make a party album. And that's where you get Party in the Bottle.
Nah, bro, that shit's cohesive as hell.
Yeah.
Like, fucking, my mind is blanking. What's the first track?
Oh, what you mean?
Yeah, and then TBT,
yeah.
Fall Furious.
And it's funny because we were trying to literally like think about like, okay, how do we want to, we were stressing so much about like, how do we want to plan this out? Where do we want what to go? And it was just, it was simple. It was like, just do it. You know what I'm saying? Just do it. I feel like that's the thing with a lot of artists or even creators at any standpoint, like stop trying to calculate every little thing and just do it. You will never know how many things would work or wouldn't work if you don't just take that chance and just do it. Like, oh, I hate people who are just like black and white. Like they don't want to try anything else, or like if anything else is just like, nah, I don't fuck with that. You know what I'm saying? But like, if you want to throw a random saxophone solo in the song, do it. You know what I'm saying? Try it. Who knows? If you want to shoot pictures upside down and post on Instagram upside down, do it. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case is, like, do that shit, bro. Because you will never know. You'll never know if you don't ever push, you'll never know the limit. You know what I'm saying? So that was the thing we need to keep in mind. Like, don't ever try to calculate everything and make sure everything adds up or make sure everything works out before you do it. Like, just do it and then find out afterwards. So the next time you do it, you know exactly. You know what I'm saying? So with Party in a Bottle, it was natural. We came in. I don't think we ever stressed about making the song at any point in time. I remember the last time I heard it before it was released, when I heard Never Been, that was the last song we worked on. And hearing that song, like how I left it, I was like, okay, this might be the weakest one. Then getting the mix back from them and hearing like David's background vocals, hearing the full thing and hearing the transitions, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best song that we have ever made. So, yeah, and it's fun to perform too. The album is so fun to perform. Oh my gosh. If I had to pick to listen to, it's Never Been. If I had to pick to perform, it's What You Mean. I say that because What You Mean is like the intro track is beautiful. I feel like we all 3 of us get to shine. You know what I'm saying? It's nobody like overlay, and I feel like that throughout the whole album. It's nobody like over anybody throughout the whole album. Like we all 3 of us, you get to hear us all 3 like in full. But with that song, it's like when we come out, the song's already playing, we get to come out, interact with the crowd, blah, 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 it's cool. And then we get right into it, and it gets people amped up. You know, somebody might be sitting down. We've seen it so many times, people are like whatever, and then they hear the song, and it's like, okay, people are like, what is going on? And then, you know, by the end of the song, everybody's right there. And I hate performing Never Been, because I'm already out of breath and I can't sing after I'm already out of breath. So at that moment in time, you don't process any of that until after you get off stage. Or maybe when you get back home, you check your phone, people have tagged you in the video or whatever. Like, I don't get that until after I leave. Cause like when I'm there, like I'm locked in and I'm ready to like do this and then like, you know what I'm saying, be in that moment and then get off stage. So like it's not like a chore to me, but it's more so like, okay, this is what we have to do, so we have to take care of, let's do it. So like at that moment, when I get on stage, I feel like if I was getting caught up in like, oh my God, this is actually happening. Oh my God, this is actually happening. Like, I'd probably mess up so many times. But when I get on there, I lock in, I kind of scan to see like what the crowd's looking like or whatever. And whoever like I find that's like up there, like I'll kind of play like ping pong mentally. Like I'll go to the weak side and try to get them going. And if it don't work, if they shoot me to hell, I'll go back to the people who are like up with me or whatever. So then I'll keep going back and forth until the song's over. But then later on seeing this and be like, oh my God, it's me on stage. Like, this is crazy. Like, I literally wrote this song in my bathroom and now here I am performing it in front of 100 people. Like, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it was, you don't process it until after. It's kind of like that adrenaline kind of covers all of that. Individually for sure. Individually for sure. I feel like I could be very annoying when writing because I hate when I listen to songs and we're like, yeah, this, like even when we listen to songs, we're like, yeah, this is mid. And it's mid not because it's bad or because whatever the case, it's just mid because it's not crazy. Like I want to be blown away, but it's like, I understand like every verse. There's nobody who has a catalog with a flawless, like there's no song that's just not like on 12. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like even Drake, they have songs that are like mid, you know? But because I know that there are artists who have like at least like 30 songs that are on 12, I know for myself it's like, damn, okay, then I need to shoot for 12 every time, you know what I'm saying? So it's like with writing, I can write a song right now, but it's not gonna be the song that I want to listen to or the best song that I think that I can make or anything like that. So I feel like I do a lot of like doubting myself. It takes me a while to write. And yeah, most of the Lil Homies songs were written with us separate and came back together and like bounced off of each other. But I don't see how. I've written with people before, like, you know, helping them write a song or writing something like a chorus or something like that, but I always end up feeling like, okay, I did this and now just do this. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like feeling like that, so I would say individually for sure.
That's really wild because you guys go back and forth on Fall Fury. So I was like, oh, they had to be in the studio at the same time. That's crazy. Not
at all. Literally, David wrote his verse the day we were going to record it and just finished up his verse. Broadus was already writing his, and I was procrastinating, but also couldn't think of anything because I was like, okay, at first I didn't like the idea of Fall Fury because I was like, okay, so we're just going to rap, like it's just a cypher, okay, cool, whatever. And then I just ended up writing, but yeah, no, I don't think we were only together when we recorded it and when we came up with the idea for the chorus, but yeah. It's either when the song is done or the video ideas and things. Cause songs kind of like, it's like a potluck in my mind. It's like, okay, like one day, like somebody's gonna bring this or somebody else is gonna bring whatever the case is. Like I don't ever sit down and say, we're going to make this song. It's always like, all right, if this don't work, then I'm going to the next thing. And like I literally have just, in my notes, I have words, I have titles, I have catchphrases, phrases, whatever. And then in my voice memos, I have either something I might have heard from TV, or I have like a melody in my head, or I have something that we played or something like that, or vocal melodies or whatever in there. Or I have flows, like I'll just go and whatever, I'll record that. So then I'll go and look at the phrase in my phone, which is hot watermelon or something stupid, and then I'll match that up with the, you know, the melody that I have. Then I'll go in my drive and I'll find beats. So it's kind of just like making a plate as you go. It's kind of like a buffet, like, oh, I see this, okay, this doesn't work, or this does work, and I'll just keep doing that. So my creative process isn't nothing crazy. Like I just kind of, it's like a matching game until you find the right formula, kind of, sort of. But I love making videos. I love coming up with concepts. I love coming up with ideas and vision boards and looking and saying like, oh, this could be crazy. Because I want every song to be a moment. Even right now, like I'm working on an album, but I haven't begun to dive deep. Like I haven't been to the studio. I haven't wrote a song yet, just because I want to close off Back Purse as a moment. Like I want to seal it. You know what I'm saying? So when we made 990, the song was out there. And then when we made the video's out there. And then when we performed and we had everybody, like the live performance or whatever, like the big one at the talent show, that was like, okay, 990's done, zip that up. When we made SNL, and then we made like then when we planned for the video and everything, whatever, like that's how kind of just like, okay, SNL's zipped up, like that's cool, that's done. And then Back Purse, I haven't performed yet, but we have a video out for it, and I want to push that video a little bit more before I go to the next thing. So I don't ever like being all over the place, because I feel like I'm able to create more freely when I have a clear mind, you know, when I like, okay, these are done, let me go on to this. And that's why I only have like 3 releases right now. But I also hate when artists just be releasing bullshit, like just be trying to like put out a song like every week. Like we didn't even get a chance to listen to the shit you dropped yesterday because you just put out 2 new singles today. Like that's terrible. And all 3 of them are mid now because I couldn't even because off the first listen, you're always subject to change. You know what I'm saying? Off the first listen. So if I listen to this song, I'm like, this is trash. Then you drop 2 more songs the next week. It's like, damn, like I didn't even get to fully digest this bullshit. So it's like, but I like to take my time, and I don't like to stunt the growth of anything I do. So if I put out a song, we put out Back Purse in April, and that's just crazy. But it's August now, no, it's September now. And you know, I have another single that I'm ready to release, but I just want to take my time. You know, I don't ever want to rush nothing, because what am I rushing for? You know, so. I feel like when I do features, which I do a few, I've done a few that have been released. I've done a lot, but when I do features and stuff, I try to kind of stay within the same style. I don't try to do too much different, because I feel like if somebody wants Savvy on a track, they want what Savvy is, what he sounds like. They don't want Savvy to be imitating what I'm sounding like on this track. Like otherwise you would have just did another verse, you know. So I don't try to like do nothing too crazy, but I also don't just hop on shit just because people send it to me. So if I don't think that we can make a good song, probably just not gonna do it, unless it's like you're like paying me, then we can work something out. But like, if just like for collaboration, like just like pure like we working together, we trying to make this, like Moving Slow was something that I was like, oh yeah, I like Zilla's work, I want to be on a song with you. We made Moving Slow, and Moving Slow was crazy. I think that's one of my best verses. But also he came crazy, and he didn't ask me to rap like this and rap like that. Like it was pure, just like, this is what we're gonna do. He did his verse, I did my verse, it worked, you know? But for other songs I've done that were paid or whatever, I kind of just try to stay true to myself and kind of just find, okay, where do I fit in within this song or whatever. And then working with other producers or whatever, when I meet a new producer, it's kind of just like, all right, you got like 3 beats, and if you don't blow me away with these 3 beats, then it's kind of like, all right, yeah, bro, your stuff is nice. It's just not for me. Like this, it just won't blend together, you know? But a lot of times I stick with the same people I work with, same kind of like six or 7 producers, and I don't really work with nobody else, because they know me, they know my sound, they've seen me write, they've heard me record, they've heard it raw, they've heard it, you know, uncut, whatever. So they know me. Everybody else I feel like is hearing like Back Purse, Savvy, 990, whatever. So they're like, okay, let me make a Back Purse type beat. But it's like, the beat, the Back Purse beat didn't come from a Back Purse type beat. Or, you know, it's not like a Savvy beat, it's just like a beat that I fucked with, and I told Hank that I was like, I want something like this. And so they made something like this. And then we have Back Purse, you know? So. I'm bringing, When I Get Home, Solange. I'm bringing Flower Boy, Tyler Creator, and I'm bringing it's between, I'm either bringing, oh my gosh, this is hard. I'm either bringing Noir by Smino, or I'm bringing Kendrick Lamar, To Pimp a Butterfly. So I have an album coming out. The album's gonna be called When, I was gonna say When I Get Home. The album's gonna be called When I Get Home, yeah, for boys.
Alright, we restarted.
Alright, so I have an album coming. The album's gonna be called Boys Wear Pearls. I also have a single from that album coming before the album is out, before we start on the album. But within the next couple of months, weeks, days, just be looking for something new. I know we're shooting a video for that single. And then everything else is for the album. I'm taking my time. I'm not rushing anything. It's gonna be a lot of surprises on there. A lot of cool visuals to follow. I'm excited. Also working on my brand, Or Clothing. Doing shoots for different brands in the city, out the city, whatever the case is, and really just being intentional about the things that I do. Not just doing things for the moment or whatever, but thinking things out. And just working with my homies, working with the database, working with the family. Just, you know, we're trying to do more of like, instead of just having an idea and talking about that idea for so long, having that idea and taking that same amount of time to do it and complete it and knocking them out, you know what I'm saying? So that's really what I'm trying to do more this year, going into the next year, whatever. And honestly, when you're in your craft and you're in your element, you're doing your stuff, you forget about all the other stuff going on in the world. Because I literally leave out without a mask because I forget so many times. Just like, oh, that's still going on, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's mainly just because I'm so locked in now into what it is that I need to do or what I want to do. And I see a goal and I see what I want, where I want to be, what I want to do, and I know what I have to do to get there. So it's just doing it, you know? I really watch cartoons. I watched cartoons, but even when I was a kid, like I watched like kid reality TV, like, or like, you know, like I watched like Naked Brothers, man. That was my all time. But an actual cartoon, I like Cleveland Brown. I like Family Guy. I love Regular Show, Amazing World of Gumball. Those are the ones I really watched, if I did watch cartoons. But yeah. Did he produce End of Time? I'm gonna let
I don't think so.
No, I think
that's Timbaland, isn't it?
Beyonce. And
okay. Oh my gosh. Let's Get Blown. Okay. Let me make my list.
Mr. Me Too.
Mr. Me Too. That's on there. This is no order. Mr. Me Too.
Tokyo.
Nah, I got Mr. Me Too. It's the one from In My Mind.
Best friend. Yeah, best friend.
Is that
Best Friend. Best Friend. Yeah, Best Friend. So Mr. Me Too, Best Friend. The other one.
How Does It Feel?
How Does It Feel? What's that JT song?
See, Rock
Your Body.
Rock Your Body. Rock Your Body, and then it's a song that he produced that has a 4 count, and it's literally like, but it's a more recent song. Man, it's crazy.
It's the one on Oxnard? No. Venture or something.
Yeah, you're talking about Twilight.
Nah. And it's not alright.
That's a good one.
What do you mean recent? Past like
2010.
Is it presidential?
Nah.
Was it the Two With Me?
Nah.
The Missy song? Not that one.
Oh, no, it's not. I'm tripping. Mama, I'm sorry. Yeah, those are my 5. So, Mr. Me Too, How Does It Feel, Best Friend, Rock Your Body, and Mama, I'm sorry. I gotta say, Find Your Wings. Find Your Wings. No, I'm kidding. Find Your Wings. Smuckers. Pothole.
Come on, bro.
Bro, bro, this is so
Yeah, that's what
hard.
I'm saying.
Yeah, 911 Mr. Lonely.
And then the one you kept defending. The one came down.
Oh, blow my load.
Exactly.
Blow my load, nigga. Blow my load. And then I'm gonna put in this one because I just listened to it today and I can't stop listening to it. Fish is a crazy song.
Fish is
That song's good. I only hate that song because bopping bitches at the end of it. I hate that fucking song.
Yeah, separated.
Fish,
If he separated them, that man, I listen to that shit.
Fish is crazy, yeah.
That fucking beat is fucking crazy. And then Frank at the end.
Oh, but I gotta say She too, because I love She.
Let's go, nerd out.
She, oh my gosh. Oh, yeah, I like Igor, but the thing about Igor is like, none of those songs on there were like, no, I can't say that. I think it's the only one that I feel like I go back into and I'm like, okay, let me listen to this again. Because Earthquake was so played out. New Magic Wand was played out because he played it all the time. But I love it, I do like it. Igor's theme, nobody's going to listen to Igor's theme. Puppet was not tight to me. What's Good was not tight to me. And then Gone Gone Thank You. Gone Gone Thank You is good, but the second half. And then A Boy's a Gun and I think are the only two that I'm like, okay, let me go play this. Like those are it. Everything else, Flower Boy is his best album. Cherry Bomb is the second. Then it's Wolf. Then it's Igor. Then it's Bastard Goblin. If you wanted to, no, I don't eat. I'm not like, hey, oh my gosh, these pizzas have pineapples on. No, like, but honestly, bro, pizza is a spectrum, bro. You can do it. Honestly. Nah, if you want to, do what you want, bro. Do what you want. But if you end up putting some crazy stuff on the pizza, bro, just don't pass me a slice. But I prefer my pizza without pineapple on it. Where's the beef?
Beef on pizza?
Yes.
Like what bacon?
Like the little
Yeah, that's not
ground beef. Yeah. If you want to know you want to know what my pizza is? I get the white sauce from Domino's. You know, the actual, like, not the thin crust. I need that garlic crumble on the crust. Then I get half chicken, half beef with the Alfredo sauce, and yeah, that's what I get. That's the pizza right there. I'm rationing out my money, like however much money I have at that moment, how much can I spend like each day? And within that day, I'm just gonna go. I would prefer to do it with my friends, you know, and family, both. But I wanna travel as much as I can. And I also wanna do shit that I never would have done. Like jump off a waterfall, or skydive, or go, I don't know. Just, yeah, pretty much white man stuff that they do regularly. I want to do this for my last week. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll probably do some illegal stuff too, because I don't do that. Like I'll take risks, but I'll take risks that are smart, like within my range. I'm not about to go do no home invasion, but why not? I got a week to live. I'm about to hit a lick, you know what I'm saying? At that point, all fear is gone. I'll do anything. I'll probably pick like a store like Rooted, or like, not Rooted, but like a store like that, like a high-end clothing or whatever, something like that. Not too high-end. Like, that's a perfect example, I think, because then, yeah, they have some nice stuff. But I hate going to Rooted because it's like, oh my god, I can't afford anything in here, literally. I'm really into Dunks right now. I really like Dunks, but I also like Air Force Ones, and then Air Jordan ones. Like I always have a pair of Air Force Ones. You have to have that. But then number two, I had a pair of Union LA ones. It was my first pair of Air Jordan ones actually, and I didn't realize how crazy they were until people started saying, you're wearing unicorns on your feet, and I was like, what does that mean? But I guess it's super rare to come by. I was just on Depop and I was like, hey, $400 for some Jordan? Let's do it. Then I got the Kentucky Blues. I like those a lot. I like my Dunks. I don't like just buying shoes because of the hype. Like, I like shoes that I can wear this with multiple fits. I bought some Yeezy slides, but them hoes still ain't come in because of Corona, so or I got scammed. Who knows, bro? At this point, I'm over it. But yeah, I would say my favorite pair of shoes is probably my Air Force Ones. They just can't go wrong with them. You can do anything to them. They'll still look cool after they're beat, whatever. Like, you can't go wrong. Everybody has them. White girls, black guys, black guys, Asians, literally everyone has them. So can't go wrong with them. Yeah. Man, I've been listening to Wonderful. He's this British producer and artist who literally mastered the 4 count like nobody else can. A lot of Wonderful, Solange, whole album has been in my rotation. Untitled, Unmastered. No. But I think, and I always listen to Bari. Yeah, I think between those 4, those are the ones I listen to the most. But I have a playlist on Spotify. It's my inspiration playlist. So any song that I feel like I can draw inspiration from or that can inspire me to create, I'll put it in that. And then I'll kind of just chisel away at it. The songs I don't listen to anymore, I'll get rid of. I'll add new songs. And so it's like an endless mix whenever I just hit shuffle. But yeah. If I come over your house, I'll open your fridge and I see regular milk, I'm walking out. That's number 1. Yeah. Voice Word Pearls coming soon. Shout out Database. Shout out Rat Pack. Shout out Fred Nasty. Shout out Ezra Kwame. Shout out B-Rax. Shout out Mom and Dad. Love you guys. More on the way. Stay tuned. Saturday.